Good morning, America. I just woke up. And my head all over my head, but I've been taking these supplements too, and I don't know. They say like when your head starts fuzzing around, that means it's growing. But anyway, lately I've just been watching some videos of different people in different entertainments talking about just different stuff because I like to see women speak. I don't like all that extra wild shit arguing and so I like to see interviews when women are actually talking about something that's positive and just talking about their business or what they're doing. So I've been doing that a lot lately just to hear women speak. So last night I was looking at two interviews from two women that's in the same entertainment. One's been there for a long time. Family's been in entertainment for a long time, and one I've never heard about. How I got to her was because the person who's been in entertainment for a long time. Her name was brought up, so I was like, let me go see. And I'm actually watching the woman who I didn't know anything about first, and the other woman who's been in entertainment for a long time, the entertainment that they're in, she brought her up and she was, talking about her. And it was like from her side of view, it's like, damn, I wonder why the other woman is acting like this or feels this way or what the case can be. But of course I didn't stop right there because, I was like, well, let me listen to the other woman. And then when I listened to the other woman who's been in entertainment for a long time, it was like she was saying some stuff and I was just like, okay. And it kind of made me realize that a lot of times that women, instead of, when you do have a problem or issue or a little, whatever, and you don't have to down a woman or belittle a woman. And in both interviews, neither did the women down each other. Neither of the women spoke bad about each other. They just gave kind of insight from their personal feelings. And I think that like, when I listened to one story, I was kind of feeling some stuff right about the other woman. But then when I listened to another story, I was like, So putting it together means that person necessarily don't have to be wrong because they think the way they think. It depends. It's the route that they go, and both of the women were very just. They never spoke down on each other. They said what they said about the issue that they both had with each other, and that was it. But they still gave them, their respect. They still gave them what they felt, and they still talked highly in them in the respect of, this is a woman, she did this, or this is this woman, she did this, she did this. And I think a lot of times as women, especially as colored women, sometimes we have these feelings about each other, and especially in the same entertainment, because it's going to always be more competitive for us because it's only so many people doing something in the lane. So like, with men, it could be 100 men or 100,000 men doing this one thing, and it could be only 50 women doing it. So it's always going to be that competition. It's always going to be somebody trying to put something in your ear, talk about negative about a person or woman or whatever, instead of saying, okay, well, this person actually is a good person. Won't you just reach out to them and see how they do or whatever? And, that's just how it is. And I think that a lot of times people need to rise above, even if you don't agree with the woman or even though you don't like what she says, unless she just because the person that I've been on who's been in Anderson for a long time, I've always thought she was a very respectful person. I feel like she has a good character and genuinely she's a good person. But then when I listen to the woman that I never knew anything about, I got that same feeling from her. I don't know what noise that is, but trying to cook. But anyway, so I got that same feeling from her, and I just think that is that's amazing when women could disagree or feel some type of way about something, but yet still understand that, this is a world where we are attacked by people and putting us against each other, and that's crazy. But you got to learn how to rise above that. Um, and the way the lady who's been in entertainment for a long time has said something that I've always tried to make clear. When you have a certain type of character, whether it's good or bad. The thing about it is your character defines you in so many different ways. And the stuff that you allow, the stuff that you do, if so many things are in this field, that kind of reveals you as a person, meaning your character. And people have to understand, like, when you're doing certain stuff, it's all about the principle. Something could be so simple and so little, and a person could think that you tripping, but it's like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it from a different point of view from where I'm standing. And I think a lot of times with a lot of issues with women, no matter what is going on, it's so easy for it to be like, well, nah, that's her. Instead of looking at yourself and saying to yourself, like, nah, it might be me. Because a lot of times people, with people, if a person's character is not good or nothing about them is really genuine or true, or they're so used to being around certain people, it kind of defines their character because they're so used to a certain type of thing. And that's why a background, where you come from, means so much. And don't get me wrong, because you have people who have actually came from not the best background, and they still come out to be good people, great people, because at the end of the day, that's what they that was what they wanted to do personally. It doesn't matter what they went through. It doesn't matter what they seen growing up. It doesn't matter who their parents are. And then you got some people who come from good backgrounds and they don't have a good character. So it's like, your character is something that you build. It doesn't, people always say, or, when you're talking to people, well, this was my upbringing, this is my background. And that's fine. But you have to, as an adult, you have to separate what you want, because you can come from a whole family of whatever and still prosper. You can come from a whole family of doctors and lawyers and not prosper. So it's basically a man thing. And I think a lot of times when people who have who can be a good person or have a good character, they don't have the right team with them. And if you don't have the right team with you and you don't come from a good background, it's hard to distinguish what is right and what is wrong. And that's the problem. But listen to both of their interviews. I really appreciate how they just was not belittling each other, not talking down each other. They said what they said, and it was like, okay, I'm moving on from that conversation before it gets to y'all trying to put in my head to talk bad. I think a lot of times people forget, you know, I was about to say, goddamn, my man be going because I be having these thoughts in my head, and I should be writing them down, but I don't. But the only reason why I'm kind of doing these videos, because people in real life actually text me and say, I like that you do this interview, or I like that video, and they might not even like it, or they might not even, comment on nothing. But that's why I said when it come down to support, I've never been a type of person like you have to support me on social media. I got them same people I'm like, go like my shit, but the people that I really just who have seen my posts, said nothing. And the people that actually text me, that have texted me, I feel like it's still genuine support. It's not, okay, well, for social media, it's for this or this. It's generally somebody reaching out to me because I feel like I'm one of those people with or without social media. I'm good. I don't need that outlet. And I think the people who really know me know that. And that's the reason why they do choose to text or call my phone personally. And I love that people actually who know me know that. Like, you supporting me in any type of way or teaching me something that I don't know. I love it because at the end of the day, I've never been one of those people who don't like to learn from people. And I've never been those type of person who teach people who feel like I can't be taught anything. And I think that's another thing, like, because of who I am. Like, I like little, just I've never looked up to anybody. I don't see anybody in this world that I've ever tried to be like but myself. And I'm not taking that away from people who do look up to people, because it's people that you look up to that inspire you. I never had that. I always felt like I wanted to be my own inspiration. So I never looked into other people's work. Now I see a lot of women that I'm just kind of like, I don't know, because bitch, it's cold, getting distracted because I be hearing noises and I be thinking it's like a mice or rat or something. I be getting scared and it don't even be nothing, or be no cats outside. Anyway, fuck it, that's a whole nother level. Not that I have rats and mice in my house, but down here it's just crazy. But anyway, so it's just like, I just appreciate them, and they're women and men too who actually reach out to me and just tell me like, I like what you're doing. Keep doing it. I don't care if you get one view, one like, just keep doing what you're doing. And I like that because they see that, I'm doing something that is really coming from the heart, and it's not something that it has to get noticed, because the right people obviously are noticing it and they like it. But yeah, so it's like, I just feel like, you have to surround yourself with the good people. And the good people don't have to be a person that's like you. The good people don't have to be something. It's about learning from people, prospering from every direction that you can. Because you have people in this world, women and men, who are not where they want to be or going through something in fucking situations, and you never know about it because their spirit doesn't allow you to show. Yeah, they're just, you will never know that they're in a situation. And you got some people who you can tell they're not where they want to be. You can tell people, you can tell that they're not happy, or you can tell a lot of things because it shows. And speaking for myself, I was both of one of those people. Um, from, I think my early 21 year or whatever, I was that person where it showed that I wasn't happy. It showed that, I wasn't where I wanted to be. But the thing about me is I've always tried to be this person who doesn't let certain stuff define me. I tried to be this person that don't let stuff take away from me. So the thing about it was I prayed. You know what I'm saying? I prayed for so much stuff that I wanted. And it's like, I prayed because that's actually what I wanted. And sometimes you have to pray for a stronger mind. Sometimes you have to pray for certain things. And I'm not talking about whether it's material things or wanting stuff. Sometimes you have to pray for certain characteristics, because a lot of times when you see people who come from this lifestyle and then you see them grow, and it's like you would never think they had the ability to grow. A lot of times that comes from just praying to God, saying, take away this and put this in. And if you truly mean it, he would do it. And I feel like that because I know he absolutely did that with me. Because when I got to my late 21, it was like I became that person who, no matter what I was going through, no matter what I was feeling, no matter whatever was going on in my life, you couldn't tell. You didn't know anymore. And I just thank God for replacing those certain traits and helping me, because a lot of times I realized, certain situations, because I wasn't happy, it showed. And because it showed, it kind of put this cloud over me. And people understand that those clouds are real. You might not think you can see those clouds, but them heavy, gray, rainy clouds over your head shows with people. It definitely does. And you have to realize that. And that a lot of times that affects who comes in your circle too, because if they see this cloud, or they feel because anything about you is offset because of your unhappiness, they would literally either stop messing with you or give out this image like, oh, okay, well, this person, and that's not saying that ain't even your character. It's just that you're going through stuff, and that's why you have to pray all the time about certain things. And I think also people have to understand it's a difference between change and growth. You can have a flaw and you can have this situation going on, and just because you change that situation or that flaw and you develop or pick up another one, then that's not growth. That's just you're changing what you're choosing, what flaw you choosing to work on. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like, don't say you growing. Don't say that, I can see my growth when you're just changing certain flaws and characters about yourself. And once again, I always speak from a level of myself. See, people always want to speak from a level of somebody else. You have to speak from a level of yourself, because that lets you know the development. In a lot of situations, I didn't think I was growing in because I didn't take the time, or I didn't really do it. But it was like, because I didn't personally see my growth, people actually personally saw my growth and was telling me. And I love that, because at the end of the day, I was one of the people who was like, damn, I ain't going worth shit. Like, I'm still in the same spot. And then it's like when people come to me, it's like, damn, I see. And that to me is more rewarding for me than to feel like I'm growing, because growth is about yourself. But when people can see you growing and you don't even feel like you're growing, that is a whole different type of gift. And just understand that just because something changes or you shift a gear, that don't mean you're growing. That means that you're changing a situation and doing something. And I think that people need to understand that, also, what was I about to say? Okay, so I was talking to this woman. Well, she a woman, but I've known her for a long, long time. And the thing about it is, I don't know. I think I got on social media like when I was 20, 19, 20 or something like that. It took me a little minute. I wasn't on. It was like in 2010, I think. Yeah, so I was 20. Yeah, so anyway, like I wasn't on social media, and a lot of people that I knew was on social media. And the crazy thing about it is, since I did have my child young, I didn't get to live my life the way I wanted to, and I didn't have those teenage years like I wanted to. Don't get me wrong, my teenage years was lit, but it wasn't like I think that I would have been with no kids, because at a young age I was that woman, that mother who's literally have to figure it out and sit there and say, well, I definitely have to do something now, because if I didn't plan on doing something, I definitely have to have a plan everywhere I go now. And basically, you know, she used to always tell me how good of a mother I was, and people around me always used to tell me that. And it wasn't because I posted this on this and this and this because I didn't have social media. They just generally saw me as a person. And I think being a good parent, people have to understand being a good parent is actually coming into your rights and your wrongs. Because nobody on this earth is perfect. So as a parent, you can't be perfect. But I always tried to be the best parent that I could be. But I think what helped me so motivated to be a better parent was because people was always telling me this, and it wasn't like I was doing it for show. It wasn't like I was doing certain things purposely so people could see me. They just saw it. And then that's when I realized, it's okay to not always be the best mother that you know, because then that means you continually try to rebuild yourself, reinvent yourself. And I think that for me, I didn't want to be one of those parents who worked my ass off and just put a roof over my child's head and put clothes on their back. And I think a lot of times, parenting is like, okay, well, as long as they got a roof over their head and they're this and this. No, parenting has so many channels in it that I'm 29, and until I die, I'm still going to learn something every day. And I just wanted to be one of those people those parents that was well developed, well rounded. I wanted to be that parent that taught my kids education. I want to be with them kids, one of those parents who taught my child about God. I want to be one of those parents who, if I have to take care of them, whatever they needed, they got. You know what I'm saying? I had to be one of those parents that, in lessons, teaching them while learning at the same time. And I think that's the thing. Even when my fuck ups and all that, I still embrace them as good as I did my right doings, because without them fuck ups, I wouldn't have known to create myself to be a better mother. And I think at the same time, like parenting, it's something that you have to understand. You take the good with the bad, but don't be one of those people that just take that good and forget that it's gonna be bad times, and show the world that it's okay. You know what I mean? You don't fail as a mother when you don't do something right. And I think because the situation with me in my life, I felt like it just was like, okay, well, maybe my mom kind of was a failure. Not like that, but in certain cases. But then now that I became a mother, it was like, no, this shit is not easy. This shit is something that you really have to practice on every time you think about it. This is something that you really have to sit there and say, well, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Because if you don't recreate ways to be the best, everything that you are doing, then something's gonna lack. And for women, I'm saying that, and I'm speaking of parenting because I am a parent, but just like women who don't have kids, it's like, whatever field you're doing, whatever, how you living, what I'm saying, it's like you always have to recreate yourself in every situation. And it falls then down in the lead from what everything you are, from a daughter to a sister, a cousin, a mother, an entrepreneur, or whatever. You have to separate those things and break them down individually on how you can be better at doing something. And it's okay to sit there and break those things down individually and sit there and say, I could do better at this, I could do better at this, I could do better at this. Because you never get comfortable saying that you're good at anything. And that was the purpose of it, because even when I was young and people saw that I was a good mother, I never stopped trying to be that good mother. And it helped motivate me to be a better mama, because people saw that without me saying it. People saw it without me bragging about it. And my thing about it, it's a difference when you brag and you just do something naturally. Some people are naturally good at whatever they do. And because I felt like I never wanted to be a parent, until people started telling me that, it was like, damn, people see stuff. And it's always those right people that see stuff. Like, God placed people in your life to notice stuff that you don't notice. And that's another thing I think that sometimes people have to understand. When you don't have the right people around you, and if you're not really praying about having the right people around you, that to me is going to lead you down a road of destruction until you realize that you need to be around certain people. You need to let go of certain people. You need to help build with certain people. like I said, I'm 29 years old, so I have shifted gears plenty of times in my life. And it seems like every time I shift them gears, something better happens for me. So I never sit there and try to down anything because I learn from each session, each lesson. And that's the thing that I think I want people to understand. It doesn't matter if you're a male or a woman. Um, Fucking up, you're gonna fuck up, period. But it's how you do it, it's how you move about it, it's how you do things. And once you bounce back from something, it's always gonna be greater if you're doing it the right way. I personally feel like that. I personally feel like, when I start actually praying for stuff that wasn't about a bill or certain things that I wanted, and I started praying for actual things to do with myself, God made me a better person. And the people who are the right people to be around me get that. You get what I'm saying? The wrong people around you is not going to get that. But also, even you can have good people around you and you are not where you need to be. So those good people, you kind of deter because they are where they at in life. And instead of learning from them, it's very hard. Because you feel like, at this point in your life is this. And that's another thing that you learn from. When you're not where you want to be and you feel some type of way, the people that come in to help you, God can send them to you and take them away from you at the same time because of your attitude. But I just want to say those couple topics. I want to thank the people who actually reach out to me and say stuff to me. People who I don't even talk to on a regular, people who really see me. And it's crazy because it's always older women. It's always women. And it's like, it's crazy because, I've always been mature for my age. I've always, people tell me all the time that's older than me. And that's another reason why I love talking to older people, like when I was young. And that's why I think it's so hard for younger women to get me in a sense because I'm so wise beyond my years to a certain extent that even though they're younger than me or maybe in the same age as me or a couple of years older than me, they don't get, okay, well, whatever. Don't nobody give a fuck what you talking about. Oh, this, oh, this. But the right people listen. The right people get it. And a lot of those women are older. They're like 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 20, 30 years older than me, 40 years older than me, and they get it. Because it's like you have to, I feel like God puts certain people in this world to start a legacy, to start something. Like the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolm X's and the Rosa Parks and damn it. And I know my ass up because she's a poet. Maya Angelou. Those women like that, people like that, that need to be put in this world to show, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, I'm putting you here for a definition. And in that, you know what I'm saying, definition, I want you to touch so many people because I know you can. I want you to inspire so many people because I know you can. And it's like once you live into your purpose of what God truly wants for you, because that's the thing. I thought it was gonna be so much shit. It took me literally one night. I was laying in the bed and I started to write. And I wrote in a week. And that's why I feel like God really put this, in my heart for a reason. I don't feel like he just did this because I did this, because this is not what I wanted to do. This was, keep in mind, I was just now leaving a job that I've been with for 3 years. And that I didn't even feel like I was going to leave. But I said, God will put you in a comfortable situation to put you in a better situation. I believe that with all my heart. And I'm just really, thankful for that. And I hope that this journey really does, do something for me and other women, other men, children, whoever. And my children. And I'm just really thankful for this journey because it's just now getting started. And I just pray every day about certain things because, you have to have the right mind frame for everything that you do in life. And I pray for that certain type of mind. So I know this video is long, and if you don't watch it all, some people will get it. And that's all that matters.